Dreaming in hard times can feel impossible. Like, how dare you want more when survival already feels like a stretch? But listen, your dream isn't broken, it's still yours. And now is the time to reclaim it. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Taking Up Space with Jordan. I'm your host, Jordan. And if you're anything like me, you've probably felt how heavy the world has been lately. Even though I help people build their dream lives, I can't ignore the truth anymore. It's really fucking tough out there. It's hard to tell someone, keep building your dream life when the weight of life feels overwhelming. And yet, I keep saying it because dreams fuel us. They remind us why we keep moving. They're not just a luxury, they're in fact a lifeline. And trust me, I've heard that nagging voice inside myself that says, just give up. I've felt it when the bills pile higher, when I can't show up for friends the way I want, when my dogs get sick and I'm faced with impossible decisions and choices. I get it. But here's what I know. Our dreams aren't meant to shatter in the storm. They're meant to be reshaped and refined when life gets overwhelming, but they're never meant to be abandoned. So today we're going to explore how difficult times can actually sharpen and strengthen your dreams. So if you're interested in hearing more, keep on listening. And I want to be clear, this isn't about glorifying struggle. It's about recognizing the resilience and the inner strength that you already carry. When you're building your dream life, or even when you're deep in the messy middle, it can feel like you're running into wall after wall, and it's frustrating and it's exhausting, and it sometimes makes you want to scream, shut down, or just walk away. And I want to pause here and I want to say something that I think a lot of us need to hear. The walls that continue to just seem to imaginarily pop up, they're real. They're not imagined. They're not just in your head. And they carry so much weight. The financial stress, the ache of not having support, the quiet but relentless voice of self-doubt. Even the systemic barriers that make some of us start from behind, it can all feel like too much for one person to handle. And if that's where you are right now, I see you. Your struggle is valid. And yet, here is what I have learned. The first step isn't forcing your way past these challenges. It isn't pretending that they don't exist. It's naming them. It's saying them out loud. It's saying, this is hard and here is why. Because once you name the pain, it starts to loosen its grip on you. You remind yourself that it's not who you are, it's just something that you're facing. I've had to do this in my own life. I'm a single woman living in a very expensive city, and I don't have the built-in safety nets that some of my friends or family members do. Some days it feels like I am on an island, and I'm adding in the budgeting of 3 animals, and the financial challenges I've faced this past year have been some of the hardest in my life. But here's the shift. When I finally named it, when I admitted to myself that I was in an unsafe financial situation, that's when things started to change. Slowly, gradually, it didn't happen overnight, but with every choice I made, asking for help, setting boundaries around spending, letting myself be honest about the pressure I was under with my friends and with my family, that's what gave me a sense of control back. Adversity is a lot like fire. It's painful, it's uncomfortable, and it can be destructive sometimes. But fire also clears space for new growth. And when we allow it, adversity can become the refining process that shapes us for the next chapter of our dreams. And again, anytime I talk about adversity or the struggles that we're all facing, I want to be so clear. I am not romanticizing the pain or glorifying the struggle. You can build your dream life without adversity. And I wish we all could live in a world where we weren't pushed into these tiny little boxes that society tries to put us in. I wish life was more equitable and easy for all of us, but that's just not our reality, which means in these hard times, we're the ones who have to do the redefining, the reframing, and the choosing to keep up and choosing to show up, So maybe you're in a harder season right now than you were last year or even last week. That's okay. Maybe the book you've always wanted to write is still sitting untouched. Maybe your dream feels stalled because life keeps getting in the way. That doesn't mean it's over. And here's the truth. Our dreams don't disappear when life gets heavy. In fact, sometimes they create stress because we feel like we're not moving fast enough. So let me pause and say so clearly for you. It is okay if you don't have the capacity to push forward in your personal growth or your dream life right now. That is fine. This is not a race. It is a long, slow road, and rest is part of the journey. And sometimes you do need to put surviving over your dreams. But Where we need to make sure that we're balancing it is that we're not constantly in a survival mindset. Survival should feel like a temporary moment. And temporary can be any amount of time. It can be 6 months, it could be a few days, it could be a year or two. It just is so important that when you are ready to redefine your vision in a hard season, that you know where to start. So ask yourself, what about my dream still excites me, even now? Is it the freedom that it represents? Is it the joy of creating? Is it the hope for something bigger someday in your life? And then I want you to ask yourself, how can I hold on to that feeling? What small step or practice helps me stay connected to my dream? That little spark, that one piece of your dream that still stirs something in you, becomes your guiding light in the hard seasons. Redefining your vision isn't about fixing your challenges. It's about letting that spark carry you forward inch by inch, even when the walls feel too high. Because it doesn't matter how fast you move. When you're facing adversity, the only way to make progress is through small, consistent micro steps. I've talked about making small, consistent steps to build your dream life all the time, but I think it's even more important when you are dealing with a lot of adversity. Big dreams can feel very impossible when your resources, like your time, your money, or your energy, are stretched just a little too thin. But breaking them down into smaller moves keeps your vision alive without the overwhelm. I've had to get creative myself. The public library system has been a lifesaver between physical books in the Libby app. I've had access to so much inspiration just for free. I also started paying attention to hidden perks and subscriptions that I already had. For example, I found out Spotify Premium now gives me 15 hours of audiobook time each month, which is a total game changer for diving into business and self-help books. And just when I want to go on a walk and listen to an audiobook, especially one that I've already read before. Sometimes the resources we need are already in our hands and they're just waiting for us to notice. But one of the biggest resources that I think a lot of us need to tune into, and it's free, is gratitude. It's easy to spiral into this "I don't have enough thinking process. But when you pause and look around, there is always more love, more joy, and more abundance in your life than you realize. I know that can sound a little cliche, maybe even a little guru, but here's the truth. I didn't grow up with much. And for a long time, I believed that happiness was waiting for me at the next milestone, at the next pay level, at the next promotion. But chasing next will always leave you feeling behind. If you believe that you are limited, you will live limited. And remember, limited resources aren't just about money. They're also about your time and your energy. And gratitude isn't just a mindset hack. It's an acknowledgement that you've already worked your ass off and that you're deserving of rest, that you're deserving of joy, and it doesn't have to wait for the future. Small joys, big joys, you deserve all of them. So take a moment, celebrate the progress. Let gratitude be the fuel that keeps you moving when resources feel scarce. This mindset shift around resources is a huge step towards building a life that feels good to you and feels true to who you are. Because letting go of the idea that you have lesser than others is just one small shift that you can start making. Another thing that I want to talk about is mindset shifts. I talk a lot about mindset shifts on this podcast, and that's because they're not some hokey dokey surface level thing. They're real. Shifting your mindset is often the difference between feeling stuck and finding the strength to keep moving forward. So, three of the most powerful shifts for preserving your dreams in hard times are this: scarcity to abundance. When you move from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset, you stop seeing opportunities as one and done. You start believing that there will always be more chances, more jobs, more joy, more love, more money. Scarcity says, this was my only shot. Abundance says, this was one shot and another will come. That shift alone can change the way you approach your dreams when resources start to feel limited. So when you feel that mindset creeping up of like, I missed my chance, back it up. What makes you believe that you will never have another opportunity, another way to take that next step in your life? Back it up, think to yourself, and instead of diving off the deep end and thinking, I'll never have another shot at this dream or this thing again, get curious about it. The second shift to make is isolation to community. This shift is remembering that you are not an island. I had a day recently where I couldn't shake the belief that I was completely alone, but then I remembered the truth. I have community. I have people who would show up for me in a heartbeat if I just asked. As someone who's been independent most of my life, realizing I had built a support system, it honestly made me emotional because community isn't something that you stumble into. It's something that you nurture. And if you're struggling with loneliness right now, take a breath and remind yourself that you are worthy of being supported and loved. Then, if you have the capacity, flip that mindset into action and call a friend. Let them know you're thinking of them. Community is reciprocal. Sometimes the reminder that you're not alone comes from being the support that someone else actually needed. Our last shift is fear into curiosity. Fear is tricky because it is an emotion that's hardwired into us to keep us alive. It is a survival emotion, but when it paralyzes us, it stops us from living. I've had seasons where I froze because I was terrified of making the wrong choice. I told myself the worst had already happened when really I was just too afraid to move. But here's where the reframe is. Instead of seeing challenges as proof that you failed, see them as data. Fear says, if I mess this up, it's over. Curiosity says, let's see what happens, let's learn. Every decision you make is based on the information you have at the time. That doesn't make it wrong, it makes it human. And when you shift into curiosity, you free yourself to experiment, learn, and to keep going without beating yourself up. These mindset shifts aren't one and done. They're practices that we return to over and over and over. But when you start making them consistently, something beautiful happens. You find yourself not just surviving through the tough times, but gathering strength for them. Your vision becomes clearer and your steps more intentional. That's the paradox of adversity. Sometimes we need the contrast of darkness to see our own light just a little more clearly. And I've shared bits and pieces of my own story today and in previous episodes: the financial stress, hyperindependence, the fear. But what I really want is for you to reflect on your own story. Where has adversity shaped your dream? Where has it refined you instead of broken you? Because your story, just like mine, is proof that even in the hard times, the vision doesn't disappear. And if you're not sure where to start, try this. Grab a journal and finish this sentence. Adversity taught me. The answer doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be pretty. Sometimes the messiest truth is the clearest reminder of your resilience. And the fact that you're still here, you're still dreaming, tells me you already have more strength than you realize. Because when life feels like it's crashing down around you, your vision can start to feel a little blurry. Maybe the dream you once had seems impossible and so far away. Maybe you've had to put it on hold so many times that you don't even recognize it anymore. And that's what adversity does. It clouds our clarity. It makes us question if we were foolish to dream in the first place. But here's another hard truth for you. Reclaiming your vision doesn't mean ignoring the hardship. It means pulling your dream out of the fog, dusting it off, and saying, this still belongs to me. Your vision isn't fragile, it's resilient. It might not look exactly the same as it did a year ago or 5 years ago, and that's okay. Hey, we were all different people in 5 years ago. Reclaiming it is about recognizing that even though your path has shifted, the core of your dream is still alive. Think about it this way. Adversity forces us to examine what matters most to us. It strips away the bullshit and the distractions, and maybe you thought your dream was about success or recognition, but in the hard times, you actually realize what you crave is freedom or creativity or peace. And that's the refining process. That's where your vision becomes stronger because it is rooted in what truly matters to you, not just what you thought you were supposed to want. Reclaiming your vision is also an act of self-trust. It's saying, even in this hard season, I believe in my future self enough to keep moving forward. You might only have the energy for one small step today, but that's enough because every small act of reclaiming it adds up. Writing down your dream again, saying it out loud, reminding yourself why it matters. So I want you to ask yourself, what part of my vision have I let go of because it felt too heavy? What do I want to pick back up and carry forward, even if it looks different now? And finally, what feels worth fighting for, worth adjusting for, or worth refining? Because your vision isn't gone. It's waiting for you to reach out and claim it again. And when you do, you'll find that the fire you've walked through didn't destroy it. It made it unshakable. So for this upcoming week, whatever challenge you're facing right now, please know this. It might feel impossible. It might feel like you can't keep going, but you can and you should. The other side of this season may not come quickly, but it will come. I know it doesn't feel like it when everything feels hopeless and too heavy, and that's why I want you to try this. Write down your dream in its simplest form, strip away the bullshit, and get back to the heart of what matters most. Then identify one small step you can take today. Even the tiniest actions count. And finally, I want you to share your dream with one supportive person. Anchor it in that community so you don't carry it alone. When you break your vision into these micro steps, you create momentum. One small action leads to another, and soon you've built a snowball effect that keeps you moving forward. Even if your dream shifts along the way, just remember adversity doesn't cancel your vision, it refines it. So take a few moments today for yourself. Reflect on how far you've come, where you are now, and where you want to go. And then choose one step, just one, to honor your dream. You are incredibly capable of building your dream life, even in the hardest season. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I know life feels heavy right now, so please check in on a friend that says they're fine, offer a smile to a stranger. Small kindnesses ripple farther than you know. Keep dreaming, keep going, and don't forget to like and share this episode so this message can reach someone else who may need it. Go after your dreams, even when it's hard. Sending love always. Kisses!